The old man, with his snub nose and bulging eyes, looked less like a profound philosopher and more like a perpetually amused street vendor. Yet, when he spoke, the very air around him seemed to crackle with an unseen energy, drawing in the most brilliant minds of Athens. This was Socrates, a man whose wisdom shaped Western thought for millennia, despite a singular, astonishing fact. He never wrote a single word down. Imagine, if you will, the intellectual titan of ancient Greece, a figure whose ideas laid the foundation for democracy, ethics, and critical thinking, leaving behind no personal manuscript, no dusty tome inscribed with his own hand. It's like discovering Leonardo da Vinci never painted or Shakespeare never penned a play. How could such a monumental intellect leave no written legacy of his own? The answer, as bewildering as it is enlightening, lies in the very fabric of his philosophy and the vibrant, tumultuous city he called home. Socrates believed in the power of the spoken word, in the dynamic, unpredictable dance of dialogue. For him, true understanding wasn't a static commodity to be packaged in scrolls, but a living, breathing process forged in the heat of intellectual combat. To write something down, he argued, was to kill its essence, to drain it of its spontaneity and its ability to adapt and grow. A written text, once released, was like a child left alone in the marketplace, unable to defend itself, unable to clarify its meaning, often misunderstood by those who read it without the author present to guide them. He saw writing as a mere image of living discourse, a pale imitation of the vibrant exchange that truly awakened the soul. His classroom was the Athenian agora, the bustling marketplace, the gymnasia, and the homes of his friends. There, amidst the clamor of merchants, the debates of politicians, and the gossip of citizens, Socrates would engage anyone willing to listen, and often those who weren't. He didn't lecture, he questioned. This was the famous Socratic method, a relentless barrage of inquiries designed not to impart knowledge, but to expose ignorance, to challenge assumptions, and to force individuals to examine their own beliefs. He'd corner a proud general and ask, "What is courage?" and through a series of piercing questions, demonstrate that the general, despite his battlefield experience, couldn't articulate a coherent definition. He challenged a revered politician on the nature of justice, unraveling their self-assured pronouncements until their understanding lay in tatters. His aim wasn't to humiliate, but to enlighten. By demonstrating the limits of conventional wisdom, Socrates hoped to inspire a deeper search for truth, to cultivate intellectual humility, and to encourage self-reflection. His mantra was "Know thyself," and he believed that the unexamined life was not worth living. This constant public interrogation of established norms and cherished beliefs naturally made him both revered and reviled. Young, inquisitive Athenians flocked to him, captivated by his intellect and his audacious challenges to authority. Older, more conservative citizens, especially those whose reputations he publicly dismantled, saw him as a dangerous provocateur, corrupting the youth and undermining the foundations of Athenian society. So, if Socrates never wrote anything down, how do we know so much about him? The answer lies in his most devoted students, particularly Plato and Xenophon. These were men who, unlike their master, did believe in the power of the written word to preserve and disseminate ideas. Plato, a brilliant philosopher in his own right, immortalized Socrates in his dialogues, painting vivid portraits of his teacher's conversations, arguments, and unique personality. It's through Plato's Apology, Credo, and Phaedo, among others, that we gain our most profound insights into Socrates' life, philosophy, and ultimate fate. Xenophon also provided valuable accounts, offering a more practical, less overtly philosophical perspective on his mentor. However, this reliance on secondary sources presents its own fascinating challenge, the Socratic problem. How much of what we read in Plato's dialogues is the historical Socrates, and how much is Plato's own philosophical development attributed to his revered teacher? It's a question that scholars have debated for centuries, a testament to the enduring mysteries surrounding a man who chose to exist only in the minds and memories of those he encountered. Plato's Socrates often presents complex metaphysical theories, while Xenophon's Socrates is more concerned with practical ethics and civic virtue. It's likely that the real Socrates was a blend of both, a charismatic and challenging figure who could inspire profound philosophical speculation and grounded moral reasoning. The absence of his own writings makes Socrates a unique figure in intellectual history. Unlike other foundational thinkers who carefully crafted their treatises, Socrates' legacy is a testament to the enduring power of personal influence, of mentorship, and of the transformative potential of face-to-face interaction. He was a living philosophy, a walking, talking embodiment of intellectual inquiry. His impact wasn't through carefully constructed arguments laid out on parchment, but through the direct, often uncomfortable encounter with his probing questions. Consider the ramifications of this choice. In an age before mass media, before instant global communication, Socrates deliberately limited his direct influence to those he could engage in person. Yet his ideas spread like wildfire, carried by his students and their students, shaping generations of thinkers. The unwritten word, through the tireless efforts of his followers, proved to be just as powerful, if not more so, than any written text. This also meant that his message was constantly reinterpreted, reevaluated, and reimagined by each successive generation, giving his philosophy a dynamic and evolving quality that written works might have stifled. His ultimate fate, of course, underscores the danger of challenging established power. Accused of impiety and corrupting the youth, Socrates was put on trial in 399 BCE. In a defiant speech, meticulously recorded by Plato in the Apology, Socrates refused to compromise his principles, arguing that he was a divine gift to Athens, a gadfly meant to sting the lazy horse of the state into action. He was found guilty and condemned to death, accepting his fate with profound serenity, believing that a good man cannot be harmed in either life or death. He drank the hemlock, dying as he lived, true to his convictions, a martyr for intellectual freedom and the pursuit of truth. The fact that this profoundly influential figure never wrote anything down is not just a historical curiosity, it's a profound statement about the nature of knowledge, teaching, and human interaction. It reminds us that wisdom isn't always found in carefully curated archives, but can emerge from the messy, vibrant exchanges of everyday life. It suggests that true understanding often requires an active participatory process, a willingness to question, to challenge, and to be challenged. In an era saturated with information, where every thought is instantly documented and shared, Socrates' deliberate silence stands as a powerful, almost rebellious counter-narrative. He forces us to ask, what is truly valuable knowledge? Is it something we consume, or something we actively create through engagement with others? His enduring legacy, painstakingly pieced together from the accounts of those who loved and learned from him, is a testament to the extraordinary impact of a mind that chose to ignite sparks in others rather than simply lay out a finished blueprint. The old man with the snub nose, who never wrote a word, built an intellectual edifice more enduring than any marble temple simply by talking, questioning, and inspiring.